The foundry industry is one of the oldest trades known to mankind, and until recently has been practiced very much the same way as it has been for centuries. Additive manufacturing has brought disruptive innovation to this industry. Traditionally, the metal casting process involves creating a tool or pattern to create the sand core and mold. However, with additive manufacturing, you can directly print the sand core and mold through software commands without any tooling. To get first-hand information on the opportunities for AM in foundry and casting applications, we caught up with Brandon Lamoncha, Director of Additive Manufacturing, Humtown Products. Humtown Products has been a pioneer and has led an industry-wide transformation in bringing 3D printing to foundries, becoming one of the world's leaders in 3D sand additive manufacturing. Humtown Products also won the 2020 Manufacturer of the Year award by the National Association of Manufacturers, USA, in the small to medium enterprise category. We are delighted to have Brandon join this conversation and share his insights on the opportunities for additive manufacturing in the foundry and casting applications in this episode. Brandon, it's great to have you on AM Infocast today.
It's great to be here, Aditya. Thank you for having me.
So, based on our earlier interactions, Humtown has always been an early adopter of technology, since your inception in 1959. Based on this, what would you say are the three key drivers for Humtown adopting additive manufacturing for foundry and casting applications?
Yeah, that's a great question. As a supplier to the foundry industry since 1959, we've always felt, that we have to maintain our relevance. We need to be a relevant supplier, to the industry, or they're just going to have to do it themselves or look elsewhere. So, not being a foundry ourselves, we've always had to stay with the cutting times, whether it was CNC machines for CNC cut patterns, or now with the advent of 3D printing, we eventually even see direct metal printing, not as a replacement, but as a something that can help in for very quick turnaround of parts. So I think relevance would be the first one. We've always remained innovative, as a company. We're always innovating, trying new things, trying new processes, not staying with one type of machine or one type of equipment, one blend of sand or ceramic. We always have to innovate, so that our foundry partners can, get the best castings possible. We succeed when our foundries succeed. So I would say the second one is, being innovative. And lastly, the driver for us is survival. We've seen so many foundries in USA and around the world, not survive. And we felt that by adopting, this new cutting edge technology about 6-7 years ago at Humtown, we really feel that it's going to be key to our survival. So, all those three things wrapped into one, we really feel is what has helped us, maintain to be a good supplier to the industry, in the United States, and abroad.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, and I'm sure you've had your challenges on the way, creating this and adopting and being an early adopter. So, what are the major challenges you have overcome to deliver the right solutions to your customers, and how do you feel that technology plays in overcoming these challenges?
Yeah, there's definitely, been challenges along the way, major hurdles. The first one was actually the cost of the equipment. It was a major barrier to entry for us. We loved what the technology and what it could do. But, when we went and got our first quote for our first 3D sand printer, we were very shocked. Not only at the equipment, but the requirements, for the ambient temperature and for the location and, vibration, for the floor. So it was a major investment. But even bigger than, the hurdle of buying the equipment was actually the adoption of the industry. We had started this journey about 7 years ago, and we're just now getting to where, just about every foundry has at least heard of 3D sand printing, but not yet every foundry has even tried, a project using a 3D sand printed core or mold. So, that's 7 years of dedicated, driving around, doing on-site demonstrations, PowerPoints, speaking at all kinds of American Foundryman societies. And, we still have foundries that are still, not using this technology. So I would say those two would be the major hurdles of getting into the industry.
Yeah, that's really helpful to understand, for someone who's looking at this space to invest and see how to make the best use of it. And in your earlier conversation, we had earlier, and you mentioned that all foundries can really benefit from AM. Can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if it's a large foundry, that is producing castings for OEMs, or even a small, foundry with only just a few employees. There's major benefits. Speed to market. It gives people the opportunity to be very quick to market. Quick turnaround times. So for a small foundry, or it gives a very large foundry the opportunity to prototype and get their product into the market before spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in tooling. They can prove out the product and have that for their customers. So I really don't feel that that it's only for large foundries or only for small foundries. We found that there's benefits for every foundry.
Hey, that's good to know, Brandon, that that AM is really versatile in terms of how you can use it in the foundry setting. And it's great to know that wide variety of type of companies that are ranging from the smaller ones to the large ones can really use this technology. That being said, how does the roadmap for you look like from here on? And and we know that you're looking to expand into emerging markets. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so Humtown, we've primarily been, regional, since inception in 1959, but we've also, started with the advent of 3D printing, and there have been very few printers, in the United States. We've actually started shipping, from coast to coast, in Mexico and Canada. We just wrapped up, a conversation with Ricardo Toledo, in Brazil, and they have a lot of need. We've air freighted cores and molds down to Brazil because there's no 3D printers there. So what we want to do is we really want to come into a market, not to compete with existing people that have printers, but really to grow the adoption and be a bridge, from any of the OEMs in the United States that need to get product made globally. That's the beautiful thing about this technology is once you have the CAD file, you can 3D print that mold and core anywhere around the world, at point of need. So that's really how we would like to expand. And we're just taking these opportunities to meet great players in the market, foundries and OEMs that are using this technology, and we're just going to see where that leads us.
Yeah, and I think you did something recently in Brazil as well, and you are looking more for collaborations, right? Wherever you're going into these emerging markets.
Exactly. It has to be, it's going to be slow organic growth with partners, and looking to work with people, to collaborate, sometimes with government, academia and industry, but that's really our goal.
Great, great. I think we wish you, the best of luck in your journey and your future plans. And again, I'd like to thank you for joining us for this AM Infocast episode on the applications of additive manufacturing in the foundry and casting business. Thanks a lot, Brandon.
Yes, thank you, Aditya. We really appreciate all the energy and the publications that you put out, and glad to be working with you and your team. And thank you for having us. It was great to be here today.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of AM Infocast. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes with more interesting conversations on the adoption of additive manufacturing in various industries. Now, a word about our partner. AM Infocast has been created using Hubhopper Studio. Hubhopper is India's leading podcast creation platform. Using Hubhopper allows AM Infocast to be heard across platforms like Spotify, Gaana, Google Podcasts, Wink Music, and more. To know more, click on the link in the episode description or visit hubhopperstudio.com.